Welcome to Fun and Games Side Quests. Every episode is a different host sharing a video game they love and why they love it.
Hey SideQuest, my name's Dave Proctor, and I am the director at Mighty Yell. We make games like The Big Con, A Night in the Attic, and All Systems Dance, but I'm not here to talk to you about our games. I'm here to talk to you about one of my favorite games. The games that I like to make and the games that I like to play don't always line up. The games that I like to play are hooky. They make you want to keep playing them. And I don't think any game in the world does this better than SteamWorld Dig. SteamWorld Dig came out in 2013. It has been released on every single platform right now, including the Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation Vita, Stadia as well. So if you have any of those three things, please boot it up immediately. So all of the SteamWorld games take place in SteamWorld, which is a steam-powered robot universe, and you play as Rusty in Dig. He's a cowboy-looking, tough digging robot who returns to Tumbleton to investigate his uncle's mine, knowing that there's something down there. And it's a cute setup and premise, but the game is so good at making you want to keep playing it. You dig into the ground, and the main premise is that you have to collect resources in the mine, return to the surface to cash them in, and buy upgrades to make it easier to dig for longer or take on more damage or ultimately hold more resources. And all of these things are kind of designed to keep you just wanting a little bit more, and it is designed so perfectly. It is something that once you pick up, you probably can't stop playing it for the 5-6 hours that it takes you to complete. There's even a light mechanic, so you can't really see too much in the dark with your single lantern, and you can upgrade that so that you can see farther, and everything is, again, built around the ability to spend more time in the mine. But you're not just digging in the dirt. It's also a Metroidvania. You are digging to find these little bespoke dungeons, and the dungeons give you powers that give you the ability to, let's say, jump or fire a rocket out of your fist. So after a while, you'll earn the ability to, let's say, double jump or charge up a jump that shoots you straight up forward, which you can use to bash blocks above you with your head. The digging is itself super duper fun, but it's these additional powers that makes it, just gives it that extra layer of something to grapple onto. It's so much fun to gain new powers in a game. SteamWorld Dig is such a good example of that, especially because you are earning your way into digging further and further by collecting resources and going back up to the mine. As you get further and further down, you discover that there's actually different biomes, and I'm going to slightly spoil the game here, so maybe give yourself a 30-second window, 35-second window, then pop back in. Further down, there is a sort of more, rotted acid kind of biome, and there's a lot of like humans and cave dwellers down there, which is really fun for a game that is essentially about robots. But at the very bottom of that, you dig through and drop all the way into this completely different, heavy sci-fi area called Vectron, and it's the exact opposite of what you think. And the way that the game delivers it without tipping its hand too early is, still one of the most shocking things I've ever experienced in a video game. At its core, SteamWorld Dig is just a game that's fun to play. It scratches every itch that you could want. There's upgrading, there's collecting. The resources that you find are not immediately easy to spot. You may or may not get something later on in the game that helps you find all the ones that you've missed. And I may or may not collect every single one every time I replay this game, and I have replayed it a number of times. But there's things to upgrade, there's things to collect, there's things to find. There's a, cute and weird cast of characters that sort of get, bigger and bigger as the story goes on. And it also has this emergent element of trying to lure enemies under rocks that you have dug the ground out from beneath to smush them, and, dropping all the way down a big, huge pit to explode a pile of dirt at your feet and find this big, huge gem. There's a Souls-like system where your resources that you drop when you die will be waiting for you when you come back. So it adds that extra layer of danger. And I mean, if you say all of these different game elements in isolation, there's an upgrade tree, there's a tight resource collecting loop, there's a Souls-like health drop. you might say, like, yeah, every other game in 2024 has that, but not in 2013 they didn't. And this is part of the reason why I think those mechanics are so ingratiated into the indie communities, because a game like SteamWorld Dig, set out and made them work on such a visceral level. It also, gave birth to the whole SteamWorld franchise, which led to SteamWorld Heist and Dig 2. Heist is one of my all-time favorite games as well. I think it's a great lesson for aspiring indie developers on how to build an IP, and for, people that want to think about games. Just think about how and why this game is so hooky and how it's so fun and how it respects every ounce of your time. On top of all of that, the music is absolutely incredible. I can still hear that sort of wry, rust-colored country twang that happens every time you emerge to the surface. The like scratchy clinking of clawing away at dirt, and the rhythmic element, the fact that you have to keep pounding at the dirt with your pickaxe to succeed. Like, it is a game about continuing to click the A button so that you can dig, and it makes you want to upgrade and hear that sound, a little less, or hear a different sound, the sound of a drill pounding away at the dirt, knowing that you're digging faster and faster. When you revisit the whole area at the end of the game, because you're obsessed with collecting every single resource that you find, you can rip through the dirt like a hot knife through butter, and it feels fantastic. Honestly, if you haven't played SteamWorld Dig, I beg you, please go pick it up. It's always on sale. It's been out for 11 years. And if you have played SteamWorld Dig, go play it again and see how much you enjoy it. I know that I do every single time I pick it up. And if I hadn't just done a replay for this episode, I'd probably go do one right now. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to me rant about one of the greatest games the indie renaissance has ever produced. And get out there, happy digging, and of course, happy gaming.
Do you feel like you're the only person in your circle who wants to go deep about video games regularly?
We were like that too, until now.
Welcome to Crossplay Conversations, the brand new bi-weekly topical video game podcast from Luke Lewis,
Joseph Hooper,
and Jacob McCoy.
With many years of breaking it down separately on shows like the Left Behind Game Club, Player Podcast, and Lukewarm Games, the gang is finally coming together to publish their gaming group chat in audio form every other week.
Expect roundtable reviews of the latest games, profiles of upcoming indies, and insightful conversations about essential topics in the video game industry. All with a mostly positive, insightful, and fun style.
Crossplay Conversations debuts on August 1st with brand new episodes hitting every other Tuesday. Help us out by subscribing on your podcast platform of choice to get the first episodes delivered straight to your feed.
And follow us on Twitter at Crossplay Convos for updates about the show.
Cheers and happy gaming.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.